Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is OHLEEN and today I'm talking to you about my struggles, my issues with the sustainable fashion world, because I face them too, and I'm sure you too do as well, because on this channel I do talk about sustainable fashion, I do talk about fashion, I do talk about styling, I do also touch on lifestyle and review companies that somewhat complement or cater to the sustainable fashion or sustainable ways of enjoying fashion. But there are challenges, and that's why I'm making this video. I want to share those challenges. I think sharing them is going to show that you're not alone in perhaps how you're feeling about sustainable fashion, and also what are the options currently. What can I think of as ways to get around some of those challenges? So let's dive straight into it. Number one, for me, the biggest challenge that I have with sustainable fashion is the price. So sustainable fashion usually, wow, okay, we're still good. Usually brands, how they present a solution to sustainable fashion is usually, using organic cotton, recycled materials, and recycled ways of using resources within the fashion industry. And sometimes that does mean it impacts the price, and so we experience a really high price tag on some of the basic things that they're offering. And that leads me nicely into my second point, which is the items are really basic. It's simply actually also that they're boring. They're really boring and they're not easy to work with. Meanwhile, you have, I don't know, Pretty Little Thing over here offering you abundant options, abundant colors, abundant style, textures, you name it, they have it for you. And they're probably offering £12, £10 for it too. So it's really challenging, and it's really tempting, and it's really hard for you to say you want to be a sustainable individual, someone who caters to looking or being conscious about the ways you shop. Meanwhile, it's not easy. It's not, the options are very few in terms of styles, in terms of just taste. It's very muted. It's almost only catering to the minimalistic style, which not everybody is like that, right? Number three, for me, the brands that are catering to sustainable fashion, I would say they're limited. And I understand it's because if you're going to talk about sustainability, you cannot have hot pink this and materials that are heavily dyed and heavily processed, because it's somewhat defeating the purpose. But in general, I do feel that is a challenge, and many people would be facing that challenge. I know I have that challenge as well. So I think those three things are my major things. I have come up with ways that you can look at things differently, which will hopefully combat some of these challenges, some of these issues, which I personally do have. And I guess I'm sharing now with you what I do to, kind of reduce how I feel the pressure or I wouldn't say anger, but, it's frustrating. It's not easy to want to be good for your planet, but also look good and feel good, right? I have three solutions that have been working for me. And number one is really your mindset. Take matters into your own hands. See it as something that you need to do rather than waiting for brands to offer you something, because the bottom line is they are trying to make $1 too, and they will try and do that across all markets. And by trying to cater to everybody, it's difficult sometimes to have price ranges that may work for you, the person next to you, and the person coming. It's really hard. The goal cannot be that, in fact, to please everybody, which is why the power really is ultimately in your hands. As I say, approach it with the right mindset. Take control over your wardrobe, where you shop, how you shop, and that will impact the following solutions that I have as suggestions. Number two, after having reconfigured your mindset, look at your shopping habits and address those as well. Shopping habits involve obviously watching what you fall in love with, because you can be in control of that, and your perception of what's fashionable and what to do with certain pieces and which pieces to love. It's not always ideal to buy trendy things, because guess what? Tomorrow there's something else trending, and that thing is so last year. And also, typically when it is cheap, the quality is not so good, which is another solution I would say. Keep in mind quality over quantity. Have in mind that this thing needs to last me. And so when you're seeing it, when you're picking it, make sure it's a material, it's of a quality that will withstand how you are able to look after garments, which leads me to my next point, and that is take care of what you have. So if you know you are not the kind of person that's patient to read labels and respect what the label says, if it says don't put it in the washing machine, you're going to take time and hand wash it, then that's good. But if you know you're not that person, maybe stay away from such items, or think of how you're going to respect the garment guidelines to make sure that garment lasts, basically, and pay attention to it, because it matters. It affects how long your clothes last, how you wash them, and how you take care of them, and washing them with the right colors, using the right detergent. Think about it, be strategic, and be smart about it as well. Now, if you must buy from fast fashion brands, maybe because you just simply they cater to your taste, or budget reasons, that's what you can afford at that present time, or accessibility, that's what you have access to, I would say that's where you really need to get to know and to educate yourself on things that last, because you have to shop with longevity in mind. So you want to shop with the future in mind, a long time to spend with a particular item, and make sure you enjoy it, and make sure it's not because it's trendy that's why you're buying it, because when it's out of trend, are you going to be loving it still? A prime example is really this t-shirt that I'm wearing. This is a t-shirt. It's a brown t-shirt. Now, it's really good quality, number one, and also it's not your ordinary t-shirt. It's got this embellishment which is actually attached to it, so it's a bit different, right? And I know whatever I do to this, it's going to always be slightly edgy. And so when you're buying things, always look at the finer detail. Look at the it's the beauty is in the detail. If it's artwork at the front, if it's been hand painted, if it is an organic t-shirt with a message, something a bit edgy about it. And that doesn't apply to just t-shirts, it applies to dresses with certain texture or certain embellishments. And even embellishments, you have to be careful, because if that embellishment falls off, will it still be beautiful? Will you be able to repair it? These are things that you have to think about when you're buying from fast fashion brands. I have some items in my wardrobe currently that I've had for over 7 years, and they look good still. Why? Because that was a good pick. It lasts, it's classic. You're not going to get tired of it. It's not going to ruin when you wash. It's not going to wear out and fade, and gems are not going to be falling off. The sequin is not going to be falling off. All those things matter. The more exotic a piece is in terms of they've embedded beadings or diamantes glued on, think about that, because when that falls off, it's not going to be nice. Will you be able to repair it? If you can, that's fine. If you can wash it and look after it with the delicate requirements needed, that's great. But always keep that in mind. So just to recap, my issues, and I think these are issues most people have as well with sustainable fashion, is price. Okay, it is catch-22. The issue is prices, and then also the options available in terms of brands offering it. It's usually one really small boutique or basic styles being offered, or it's a major retailer that has just pounced on the idea because that's what people are conscious of right now. That is the current hot trend, and that's sometimes not good enough. And that is why the solutions I've given as tips that I exercise kind of work currently. There are ways around some of these challenges. So as an outro, because I feel like I'm rambling, here is some brands that do cater to sustainable fashion, and I think they are worth considering, maybe because of the price point and quality, and in terms of also options, to work with, and they'll still be actually very stylish, youthful, and somewhat trendy, but can still, it's a catch-22, but you can have good looking pieces within a particular season without looking too trendy and risking looking outdated, basically, and because that's the issue with trends. Anyway, here's the outro. Enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next video.